When Father Christmas got stuck up the chimney, the only way to pull him out was by his blank.
Well, that's good.
Now try and remember it is Christmas, there are children watching. When Father Christmas got stuck up the chimney, the only way to pull him out was by his...
Beard.
By his beard.
When Father Christmas got stuck up the chimney, the only way they could get him out was to pull his blank.
Pardon?
What? Pull his blank.
Pull at his. Pull at his blank.
Pull at his. At or without. At or with it. Or pull at his blank.
Pull his blank is a little more risky, I think. Or risque.
Well, but when
Can't it be boots or something?
Pull his boots, pull
Put
his
your hand
beard.
up the chimney, the first thing you grab at is his boots.
Really?
Well,
Grab at? Grab,
should
that
have
makes it worse, doesn't it?
If you've got a picture of a chimney, what do you see hanging there? If he's up the chimney.
Weeks before the show, the production team meets to discuss the questions invented by the writer. It's surprising how much time is spent in getting just the right phrasing for the joke.
Yeah.
His boots?
That's what you could say. The only way to get him out was to pull him out by his blank.
Ah.
Isn't that the...
Pull him out by his
Get him
blank.
out.
Yes.
Pull him out.
Ah, the only way to pull him out, and the
Well,
only way
stuck
to
up the
get
chimney,
him
yeah.
out was to pull him out by his blank. They could get him
pull him
out
out
was
by
to
the
pull him...
blank.
Well, there's three ways, isn't it? There's
Yes,
one
you
way,
pull
the
him out
only
by
way
his
to
blank.
pull him out was to pull his blank. That's the way you've written. The only way to pull him out was by his blank.
I like to get him out by his blank.
That's what he says, and you had to pull him out by the blank.
Yes, that's a funny expression too.
And it's
Makes
shorter. When Father Christmas got stuck up the chimney, they had to pull him out by his blank.
Yeah.
You don't need the only way they could get him out.
No, no, no.
It's a question of whether it's the or his as well, isn't it?
Ah, you see.
Because there's naughty, isn't it?
They had to pull him out by the blank is one thing,
Oh, no,
and
his
pull him
blank.
out by his blank.
His blank is funnier.
So, which is the funniest way then?
Pull him out by his blank.
Pull him out by his blank. Is that the funny
Personalises
way?
the whole thing. Yes, of course it is. It's
that-
more painful.
For whom?
For Father Christmas.
Blankety Blank relies on the audience doing some of its own writing. They laugh at a naughty word which only exists in their imagination and still laugh when it turns out to be something quite innocent. Trial by Egg by Terry Ravenscroft. A small bare room, a door right. Baxter is seated on a wooden chair in some distress, a large spot lamp shining on his face. Hawkins, a plainclothes detective sergeant, is seated opposite Baxter looking at him, bored.
Not done anything, eh? Perhaps you can explain this, then. What? It's an egg.
Not the 9 o'clock news bases some of its humour on items in the news. Here they're rehearsing a sketch about the alleged planting of evidence by the police, in this case, an egg.
No. Then perhaps you can explain how it came to be hiding this in your fridge, then.
I wasn't hiding it in my fridge.
Detective Constable Parker says you were hiding it in your fridge.
Behind a strawberry yoghurt, sir.
I mean, I wasn't hiding it. It was in the fridge because the fridge is where I happen to keep my eggs.
When you're not out hijacking lorry loads of them.
I did not hijack a lorry load of eggs.
Oh, come on, Baxter. On Tuesday, 50,000 eggs got knocked off. And on Thursday, we discover one of them hidden in your fridge. Do us a favour, will ya?
Charge me on evidence like that.
I think that's exactly how it should be, with Rowan coming right close.
That's right, but it should be...
Apart from the stage directions at the beginning, the writer has given few instructions about performance. It's up to the producer and the actors to bring out the comedy by the way they do it.
I think he walks round it, doesn't he? He does all this sort of stuff. Do us a favour, will you?
The Detective Wilkins Parker says you were hiding it in your fridge.
Behind a strawberry yoghurt, sir.
I wasn't hiding it. The fridge is where I happen to keep my eggs.
When you're not out hijacking lorry loads of them.
I did not hijack a lorry load of eggs.
Oh, come on, Baxter. On Tuesday, 50,000 eggs get knocked off, and on Thursday, we discover one of them in your fridge. Do us a favour, will
Listen, you
ya?
can't charge me on evidence like that.
Why not?
How can you prove that the egg you found in my fridge is one of the hijacked eggs?
It's awful, isn't it?
I used to be a radio producer, and it's a lot to do with words, I think. There's a very old story about some guy who was walking down some boulevard in Hollywood, and the greatest Hollywood comic ever was sitting in a Rolls Royce with his writers, and his writers were all saying, oh, this is so-and-so, and they were all chatting away, and the comic just was repeating over and over again, no, 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 there's too many words before hippopotamus. And that's really what it is. It's just paring the words down, making them short, making them tight, and very sort of crisp, really.
I've never heard the robbery, rather than you haven't heard the place.
Right.
Because if you haven't heard
An egg answering to...
I don't know anything about it, is actually what it is. Oh, right, Governor, yeah. Behind the straw.
It's really got to be the Sweeney, hasn't it?
Yeah,
We've got to act it terribly well.
That really is essentially a radio sketch. It's all in the words. I mean, you read it and immediately you know it's going to be funny because you can read it straight off the page. So the problem making it interesting for television is you've got to do a little bit more to it. You've got to add to it, obviously, costumes, and particularly the egg. Now, I think you see the difference between the rehearsal and when you actually go on the screen is that the presence of the egg is definitely a fourth actor in it, this egg which appears. Because, as I say, they are very silly things, eggs. So when the egg appears, there's a whole new world has opened up.
Look, how long do you intend keeping me here like this?
Just as long as it takes you to confess, Baxter.
Confess to what?
All in good time, Baxter, all in good time.
I haven't done anything, nothing.
I think you may be onto something, Sarge. I found this in his fridge.
Good lad, Parker. Not done anything, eh? Then perhaps you can explain this then.
It's an egg.
Precisely, an egg. An egg answering to the description of 50,000 eggs stolen from a lorry at Watford Gap last Tuesday.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Then why were you hiding it in your fridge?
I wasn't hiding it in my fridge.
Detective Sergeant thought you were hiding it in your fridge.
Behind the strawberry yoghurt, Sarge.
Look, the fridge is where I happen to keep my eggs.
Ah, when you're not out hijacking lorry loads of them, you mean?
I haven't hijacked a lorry load of eggs.
Oh, come on, Baxter. On Tuesday, 50,000 eggs get knocked off, and on Thursday, we find one of them in your fridge. Do us a favour, will you?
How can you prove that that egg is one of the hijacked eggs?
It's oval, isn't it? It answers to the description exactly.
It wouldn't be funny, obviously, if he'd been hiding a Luger or a sort of machine gun or a bazooka in his fridge. I mean, it's the eggness of it. I mean, this little round, fat thing that he's hiding. And it's a very simple sketch. It contains no long words at all. It's just egg, fridge, and lorry, about the only English words you need to know. And otherwise, it's just good and bad and no and yes and anything and something and so on. I mean, you almost think it doesn't need a writer to write it. That's the funny thing. And yet it does, because it's quite, as you see, we've fiddled about with it for ages, trying to get it exactly right. What kind of, exactly how many words you need in a sentence to make a simple thing like that work. And it needs to be very short and very crisp. And, well, it's quite funny in the end, really. Although I like television very much, somebody said that the reason why they preferred radio is that the scenery is better, if you've heard that remark, which is very nice because the imagination fills in everything. And so it makes it wonderful for doing very zany comedy where 20,000 camels enter left. Now, we can't do that on a program with a tiny budget like ours. But on radio, you can do it. You can have, whatever, exploding galaxies or men with two heads and so on, like in something like The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, for instance.
The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is a science fiction comedy series on radio. We're rehearsing a scene in which Arthur Dent, the only man who survived when the Earth was destroyed to make way for a hyperspace bypass, has an argument with a drinks dispensing machine, the Nutrimat.
Thank you. What thrills have we got here?
Jeff, how do you want me to do this, Nutrimat? What kind of voice do you want?
American. American, female, pleasant. All the computers and robots on the ship have got things called genuine people personalities. One of the serious cybernetic corporations created... The setting may be outer space, but the comedy is based on something human. Here it springs from the frustration everybody feels when confronted with a faulty food or drinks machine. The way it works is very interesting. However, no one knows quite why it does this, because it then invariably delivers a cup full of liquid that is almost, but not quite, entirely unlike tea.
I mean, what is the point?
Nutrition and pleasurable sense data. Share and enjoy.
Listen, you stupid machine, it tastes filthy. Here, take this cup back.
If you have enjoyed the experience of this drink, why not share it with your friends?
Because I want to keep them. It's quite funny. Will you try and comprehend what I'm telling you?
The humour is emphasised by the sound effects and voice treatments, but at the heart of the programme there is Douglas Adams's inventive and witty script. Even the names of the characters are amusing and bizarre.
Yes. No.
A lot of the characters have got funny names. I mean, I think, for instance, I mean, one of the funniest names of all so far is a character, again in the first series, called Slarty Bartfast, who Douglas created by, he says, writing down the rudest thing he could think of and then juggling it.
Yes, I mean, because he was such a nice, sad old man, rather sort of dignified, I thought he's got to have something to be sad about. And one of the things he's going to be sad about is he's been saddled with this terrible moniker. So I just...
She's the other character. Terrible moniker.
Terrible moniker. And so I actually composed a sort of portmanteau word, which was just the rudest words I could think of, sort of slammed together. And then just sort of did it bit by bit, change it until the word was actually broadcastable.
OK, well, that's fine. I think we'll actually try and do a read on mic before we do a take. Now, okay. I think, Simon, if you go in the box over there, and Louine, since we're going to treat your voice and we'll have you separate to Simon, we'll put you in the microphone cupboard up the back.
All right.
There's the mic. You'll hear Simon over the headphones, and he'll hear you over his headphones, and I'm going to run away back to the box, and I'm going to lock you in. Right. Bye.
Right, coming up. Listen, you stupid machine, it tastes filthy. Here, take this cup back.
If you have enjoyed the experience of this drink, why not share it with your friends?
Because I want to keep them. Will you try and comprehend what I'm telling you? That drink
was individually tailored to meet your personal requirements for nutrition and pleasure.
It wants to be a bit slower all the way through, really. And can you plonk out the first line a bit more?
All right.
OK, let's go again from the top.
Rolling.
Listen, you stupid machine, it tastes filthy. Here, take this cup back.
If you have enjoyed the experience of this drink, why not share it with your friends?
Because I want to keep them. Will you try and comprehend what I'm telling you? That drink
was individually tailored to meet your personal requirements for nutrition and pleasure.
Ah, so I'm a masochist on a diet, am I?
Share and enjoy.
Oh, shut up.
Will that be all?
Yes. No. Look, it's very simple. All I want, are you listening?
Yes.
Is a cup of tea. Got that?
I hear.
Good. And you know why I want a cup of tea?
Please wait.
What?
Computing.
The resources of radio have provided the writer with maximum scope for his imagination.
Share and enjoy. And that's more of a mind picture, if you can possibly do it. The point was to try and get the sound of 2 million robots singing, which is something you actually have to sketch in somehow, because we just don't have access to that number of robots. There you're asking the audience actually to imagine the scene, and you're not actually able to supply the real thing. But again, I mean, that's something you can do on radio that you can't do on television, because if you ask the audience to believe you're listening to 2 million robots, then provided you aren't actually listening to just one voice, then they're prepared to go along with you. On television, of course, you somehow got to find the 2 million robots to show them.
Very good.
What we've got to do is we've got to add the robots, a flattened fifth out with that. So that stays as it is. So that when you hear the robots, you'll hear this backing that you just heard, and then you'll hear them singing out of key over the top. I'll tell you what, I'll give you an idea of what it's going to sound like, and I'll just sing the words over the top. It'll be in tune this time. So.
Amazing.
Share and enjoy, journey through life with a plastic boy or girl by your side. Let your bell be your guide, and when it breaks down or starts to annoy or grinds when it moves and gives you no joy, 'cause it's eaten your hat, I lost bled oil on your floor, ripped off your door, and you get to the point you can't stand anymore. Bring it to us, we won't give a fig, we'll tell you. Go stick your head in a pig. Head in a pig.
In a pig. Right, excellent. Now, how are we going to make it sound really ghastly?
Well, we've got to get the 2 million robot thing. Or
2 million robots.
Well, if you have 2 million singing, you won't hear what they're singing anyway.
1 million?
Well, if we get some people singing, then we can try and get the sort of robot sound on it, and then go on from there, just to check that we can make them sound like
People
robots.
who can sing, or...
Well, people who can sing reasonably well, I think. Football type singing.
Anybody out of the corridor would do,
That's,
just to see if it works.
Absolutely.
All right, let's do that. All right, let's give it a whirl. And if we can actually make all the words as clear as possible, so when we become 2 million, we can still actually make sense of them. Get the joke.
Right.
Jokes.
Give you a bit for pitch here.
Right.
Share and enjoy, journey through life with a plastic boy or girl by your side. Let your pal be your guide, and when it breaks down or starts to annoy or grinds when it moves and gives you no joy, 'cause it's eaten your hat or had sex with your cat, bled oil on your floor or ripped off your door. And
So we can actually play that, you know, about 20 times. That
yes, we can multi-track it.
How do we make them sound like robots?
Well, we can't use the harmonizer because that changes the pitch and the joke's gone.
One of the jokes is gone.
Well, one of the jokes is gone. We can make it tinny sounding, if that's what you want. I think probably tinny.
Let's try it.
Yes, let's have a go. We're over to other tape now, which is over here.
Share and enjoy, journey through life with a plastic.
That's how it sounds.
Girl by your side, let your pal be
And
your
that's with
guide.
it tinny.
And when it breaks down or starts to
Put some echo in it.
Sound like speeded up.
gives you no joy, 'cause it's eaten your hat or had sex with your
Apart
cat,
from silly.
oil on your floor or ripped off your door.
Yeah, I think the problem is that there's no way of actually preventing that from sounding human, is there? I mean, we are singing so clearly, when we have 2 million of us singing, we're just going to sound like a whole lot of Noel Cowards.
Yeah, I think that's right, and the only thing we can do really is to scrap that and start again and use the vocoder, perhaps, you know, the Sparky's magic piano thing, singing piano type noise, and do it all again that way.
But I think actually we've got another problem, which is that there are actually 3 jokes, in that we've basically got a joke of 2 million robots singing, we've got a joke of robots singing a flattened fifth out of tune, and we've got the joke of the words. And then if we're going to get 2 million robots, especially if they're singing a flattened fifth, we're not going to be able to make those words out. So I think what I will do is I will give Douglas a ring and give him an ultimatum and say he can have a permutation of 2 and no more of the jokes. Hello, Douglas. Listen, the share and enjoy robots singing, we've been trying it in all sorts of ways. It seems to me that basically you have to make a choice. You've got 2 jokes and you can only have one of them. You can either have a joke of 2 million robots singing anything but not specific words, or you can have a joke of the robots singing a flattened fifth and singing the words that you've written. And it seems to me that basically the second one is much better than the first. Yeah? So it seems, I mean, we can just do it quite simply by just cutting out the words in the script over 2 million robots and making it a choir of robots sing the company song, share and enjoy. Okay. Well, bye. We've taken a brief look at 3 very different comedy shows, but no matter what technical resources are available, the comedy always depends on the writer and his precise use of words.
Only slightly worse.
Couldn't be much worse.
Nope. Doesn't matter, you can't hear half the words, does it?
Well,
it's ghastly anyway.
It would be nice if you could hear the words.
I don't think you have to be very well educated, or you can't really be trained to write comedy. It's just something that's there or not. So we've got people who have earned a living fitting showers for 20 years before they suddenly realise they had a yen to do jokes about Mrs. Thatcher, and so they write in, and one day, the next day they're famous, I hope, and rich.